Hey.
Omenes.
Hey. You're listening to the podcast.
Friend.
Omenerds podcast.
Viewers, thanks for tuning in this week. Kwa mtandao wa Omenerds podcast episode 2. Today is the day they finally let me talk about Beyonce. So we will talk about Beyonce. Yes.
No.
Yes. Okay, fine. They're all against Beyonce, except Lorizi. Lorizi, we take over this podcast.
All hail Beyonce.
Beyonce! Anyway, so this week we're going to talk to the amazing, the unmatched, the fearless Owaah of Owaah.com.
We are super psyched to have Owaah from Owaah.com on the podcast today. We finally meet the man, the myth, the legend. If you've never visited Owaah.com, you really need to do so ASAP. This episode was recorded in the dark and in the presence of bananas because we all know how much he loves his bananas and his anonymity.
And so thank you so much, Owaah, for coming through. This is the Omenerds podcast. Thank you for joining us, which kind of sounds like a KBC studio thing.
We should have said thank you for tuning in. He really hates that word.
Actually, yeah. As a storyteller, tell us the story of Owaah. How did you begin? How does it start?
Okay, so I've always been a storyteller pretty much all my life, but I made it into a thing, I think, when I was in campus. I was doing something completely different. I was investigating people dying. It's a long story.
We have time, darling.
What did you study in campus?
Forensics. But I realized I love the true crime stories more than I actually love the actual lab work. So yeah, it became a thing. So now it's not just, I don't just do crime, I do crime, culture. I grew up around history books. So my father was a history and English teacher. I was a teacher of English and history. Shit, I've been corrected over this so many times. Anyway, yeah, so I grew up around history books all over. And yeah, so it just, now I get paid to do it. Don't ask me about the decisions I've made. No photos! No photos of my pretty face! No photos
He just
of
likes
my
being
pretty
the name.
face.
It's a name.
Yes.
The man, the mystery.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that t-shirt?
No.
Like there used to be this t-shirt people would have with
With-
direction going
with
up
the-
and then
with the-
down. There
with
would be
the
the man and then
arrows.
the mystery.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So now you have this really successful blog,
yes.
right? It's like so
Like
Kenyan.
that you use the word
Yeah.
really. That's
Yeah, it's
just-
really
thank you.
It
successful.
is really successful. Like, don't be
And
humble.
it's Kenyan. You know, it's one of those things where you're just like, this dude is writing our stories, and
Yeah.
people have been talking about telling our stories for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And
this
here
is
you
someone who's
are, you
actually
took up
doing it.
the mantle and you ran with it, and it's this fabulous big ass thing. How does that make you feel? Like, do you feel
Oh, it's a serious boner. It's like a permanent boner. It's
every
just
day you're
brilliant.
just
Anyway.
like, Owaah.com. Oh.
Wouldn't that hurt?
it's like a permanent. It would. I like that you know the logistics of this. It's quite worrying that you do, but please.
It's blood flow. Come
Also,
on.
it's Lorizi.
Yeah, so it's 7
Really
years old. It turned
much,
7 in April. Owaah.com turned 7 in April. I tried a few other things before. None of them really excited me that much.
Like what?
I had this shabby blog at some point that was the male version of, I don't know who used to read Diary of a Campus Girl by Savi. There's this lady on Twitter called Savi Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
When she was in campus, she used to run a blog called Diary of a Campus Girl. It was really quirky and really, like, just the things they would do in campus. Just that was it. So I tried a male version of that. Yeah, so I tried a few other things. Then, yeah, I landed onto this. Its original name was The Devil's Advocate. It was just meant to be this...
Owaah or the...
Owaah.
Wow.
It was probably my 6th or 7th blog in 2010 years. 2010.
And 7. So a conversation we've had before is art and making money.
Mm-hmm.
That the relationship, because there's all these conversations about about artists not being aware of how to make money or translate your art into something that feeds you. So 7 years later, are you okay? Are you able to afford life through writing?
Well, I'm not
are you
dead.
feeding yourself?
Well, I'm not dead. That's a good thing, isn't it?
No, but
So I've...
is it like, you know what I mean? Like, are you
Yeah.
comfortable
Yes.
with the work that you're putting into Owaah and what it's giving you back?
Yes. So my original plan with it was, I probably need to say this, I've only held one formal job once in my life for 5 months. never have again. But my original plan with it, my original business model with it over the first 3 years was to use it as a calling card. So my favorite blog then, now it's shit, used to be crack.com. So crack.com will do this thing where they would write, they still do, write these stories about American history. And they would make dick jokes in the middle, ball jokes. Like, it was just this fun thing. You're reading about the American Civil War. You really don't care about the actual content, but you can't stop reading because it's so readable. So I wanted to do the same thing for Kenya. And it seems I chose quite the best time to do it, because then at the same time, there were these editors looking for younger guys to write or whatever. Even people with just an interest in research, because they're saying we don't read, and how to turn research into actual stories.
That's actually my worst thing when somebody says Kenyans don't read. It's one of my worst.
It makes you
worst.
mad.
Yeah, I just get
People
so
read
angry.
a lot.
Yeah.
People read a lot.
It's just
They
what
do.
are they reading? That's the question that's
That
more
should
important.
that should be the question.
and it's
being
always
asked.
a thing that we art creators also agree with, because we want to be lazy. Because we assume they won't read. For example, I have published story, well, pretty much the full story was about 13,000 words, and it's still my most successful story to date. Like the
story
people
is
who
that?
gobbled it up, including some people who supposedly printed it and used it, like they were reading it like a book. And like people actually read. Sorry,
Which
where was
story
I?
was
Which
this?
story was that?
The sack of Imperial Bank. Yeah, quite still.
Yeah.
It's quite something. It's some anyway. What was I saying? So I my original plan with it was to use it as a calling card. Like simply, this is the kind of work I can do. And the most validating comment was this time I did, I think 2011. I was doing other things on the side already. But then Charles Onyango-Obo, who used to be a top editor at Nation, just comes up and comments, "This is really badass." That's all he said. Like, "This is really badass." Then on Twitter, he goes like, please DM. And I'm like, shit. It's
Mama, I made it.
And I ended up freelancing for the Nation for a while. So I do that. Like, so now pretty much I'll say 55% of my income comes from blog related work. 45 from freelance.
Okay, so because you are a content creator, you definitely get a lot of feedback, whether negative or positive. How? Okay, let's talk about the negative.
Yeah.
Like how much? How much
very
is it?
sensitive. We're very
How
sensitive.
does it affect you though?
We're very sensitive about being told your work is not
True, but you must get it.
Funny enough, the most negative feedback I get is actually the most positive in this sense. Because I write real life stories, and a good number of them tend to be true crime stories. The most consistent comment is always, "This is like a fucking movie."
That's yeah.
Okay, it never used to get to me as much until I did this story on the 4 guys in South Sudan, the 4 guys who've been jailed for life in South Sudan. This was a powerful story, and I'd sat across their families during interviews and they'd cried and all these things. Like I'd gotten into that emotional space of investing, doing 6,000 words, but like having to sit down with families and mothers crying. And then that was the most consistent reaction. This is like a fucking movie. So actually, somebody came and said it for me, like on the comment, and said, "Guys, these are actually like real people's lives.
Yeah,
like
stop.
there's a call to action somewhere in this article. Like the call to action is simply yeah. So yeah, I struggle a lot with that positive.
So what kind of
feedback.
feedback would you want? Because your articles get a lot of mileage on Twitter, like a lot, and the conversations that come out of that. But because it's on Twitter, are you able to kind of follow and see the movement of your blog and the people
And
who
then,
don't
the
come
reactions
and put in the comments, but
they're talking about it online.
So I probably should have mentioned this at the start of answering your question after we talked about fertilization. I like the fact that point can stay in the podcast without context. Anyway, I didn't set out to make a blog for the masses, like that would attract every single person. One of my goals, it wasn't my original goal, but one of my goals moving forward and seeing the audience I was attracting was that I was making content for other creators, like I was making content for artists, musicians, even illustrators, for example, and now like performers, plays, like
which is currently what's happening, and we need to talk about that.
We need to talk. We need to
later.
We'll segue into it.
Yeah.
Yes, but we already you can just slide into that topic right now.
Yeah.
It's So that was my original goal. Like, I didn't feel like, probably I don't understand how to reach that audience, like the audience that actually, but then if I use creators, like I was writing for, well, not other writers per se, but I was trying to collate all this information, and then make it readable for them, because then they would go and turn it into art somewhere else, and and in that, I believe has been my biggest success so far. Yeah. But, so it's not, Sack of Imperial Bank, for example, ended up mostly just being, I know some story. For a little core audience of depositors, it answered a lot of questions.
It was relief, actually.
It gave them perspective. It gave them, even some of the shareholders. And I got this like later when I met one of them. It was like it answered so many questions he had never thought about, because he was always like away from the business. Like, he didn't really focus on it. So yeah.
What's your process like? Because I imagine that's a lot of research.
Yeah.
So you come up with an interesting.
She's looking at you.
Caribbean, put it near.
She's looking at you.
Bring it closer.
Hey.
Like, go closer to the thing.
I will not. That's what she said.
Don't be afraid of the thing.
I will not.
That's what he told her.
I will not be threatened.
Wow.
That's
Like, how we discussing seriousness and you're
Anyway.
like catching guys off guard, like, oh yeah, that was a very deep story. That's what she said.
That's what he told her. Anyway, you're going to ask.
Anyway,
That's
I
what
was
she said.
asking because your articles are in depth. Obviously, a lot of research goes into it. What's your process like?
How long does that take?
Yeah.
Rimu was just calling me obsessive just now, because when you guys were talking, I was doing something incredibly pedantic and stupid. It was this thing I think I saw when I was drunk a while back, where Kiambu's first senator and Kiamba's first MP had the same name, like they were brothers with the exact same name, Biu Koinange. But I didn't know where I'd seen it. Then I remembered it when I got out of the car, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I had to find it where I have. But anyway, so it depends. If it's just pure history, sometimes I take years with it. It's just quirky things I find and I keep. So of course, I'm a hoarder when it comes to information.
You just have like a file of filing things away.
Files of things. So some stories take years, some take months. With the investigative pieces, it's always a bit easier because you're dealing with, like, the history is context, so it's not really important.
Yeah, about the interviews. How do you get access to these people?
Do you have a media pass or something?
No, I don't have. I actually refused to get one.
Yeah, so how do you get access?
People want to talk. One of the best things about writing about people is that people want to talk. Like,
their stories told.
Like, we can't help leaking. Like, people will be very, like, most of the time, I have this weird mental rule for I just need to get a meeting, or if it's a conversation on the phone, I just need to get them past 60 seconds. Like, it's like a goal. Because first there's just like all the walls break down. Oh shit, that's off the record. Oh shit, whatever I've told you in the last hour is off record.
Don't put it in the article.
So do you?
No.
That's
But
nice.
then again, most I've been to conversations that shaped pretty much the work. They were off the record. Like the only condition to it was this has to be completely off the record.
It
This
gave
is
you an
what
idea of
need,
where
and
to
yes.
go.
Yes. So I combine a lot of research tools in any day. I combine research, books. I read too many books.
There's no such thing.
No, there is sometimes is. The second last article I did on the assassination of Chief Orohi was supposed to be out 4 months ago. I just kept finding more and more books that had all of a paragraph on the murder. And I couldn't, but now I'm here, so I gotta finish the whole thing. One of those books was Charles Hornsby's book, which is like this thick. So I just kept telling myself, maybe I should just go finish it, because
And I'll read the book.
Yeah, but we finally got the article, so it's okay.
That's
It's
good
fine.
though. That means
Yes.
you're thorough then. Isn't that like the payout?
You know, Kenyans are very pedantic in this sense. People might not comment about what you've actually written about, but it's that thing of make one fucking mistake. Just make one
Like
mistake.
that's what they come to the blog for?
Yeah, somebody will come and say there. Like 4,000 words, really?
There's a hashtag.
Well,
Owaah
can't spell.
misspelling. He's cancelled.
Yes, so
is he really
yes.
a writer?
And then,
He's been lying to us all these years.
that one word.
and then, of course, the beauty of the brand I've built is that, like, people come to me for detail.
Yes.
Like, they will read pretty much the same story elsewhere, but they'll be like, please, just...
Let us know.
And that's very interesting. Talk about you as a brand, or rather Owaah as a brand. Has opened so many doors for you.
Many, extremely many. There's most of I believe my last 5 years of freelance work has come from pretty much that. The clients have come. That's one. The brand itself, just the brand, just seeing how people react to it. And then, now when you're anonymous and people go like, it's Maurice, and they're like, girls are like, Kwanzaa, he has natural hair, he has a big head. Maybe his voice a little, but me ask like, oh, he's got going. They're like, oh, and you're like, oh my God, take my pubes. It's just terrible.
Wow. I think people in this podcast are just
Omenerds
obsessed
podcast
with
does not condone.
pubes.
It doesn't condone the taking of anyone's pubes.
But
unless
if they're
they're
offered,
like
I know what
unless
what
they're
people
healthy.
are into. Huh?
I feel like if they're healthy.
Yeah. So
Like
and
if you
then,
don't have
like
eyebrows, like if you don't have eyebrows, I feel like that's a good replacement.
Indicate what?
I don't like that
Guys,
you thought this through.
Guys, focus,
sorry.
please.
Sorry,
Guys.
I was going to say this.
You are listening to Omenerds podcast. We will be right back with Owaah. We just need to pay those bills.
So of late, I've been trying to wear, more fashionable trousers where I fold at the bottom. But
Wait, that's more fashionable.
yeah, because I've been
As
used
in,
to
don't touch
bagging.
my ankle is fashionable.
Yeah, showing my ankles, but now kuinama kila siku kupaka mafuta. I don't know. So I've been wanting those two fancy two socks.
Wow. Okay. So what Thwija is trying to say is that if you need to get some fabulous socks, you should check out thriftvalley.co.ke. They call themselves the East Africa's premier provider of men's luxury accessories. And from testimony of our producer, Teamwork, he bought his stripper suspenders. Am I lying? Didn't he
No,
say
it's true.
he got
Tim said he looks like
like
a
a
stripper.
stripper suspenders? Right?
Magic Mike.
And that's a good thing.
And it's a
in
good
case
thing.
you-
And it's a good thing. He's just not confident enough to pull it off. But if you're one of those guys who is confident and you go out there and you want to win tenders and shit, check out thriftvalley.co.ke. You can get socks, ties, suspenders, bow ties, lapel pins, shirt accessories. They also have boxers and briefs, so you don't embarrass your significant other
Or yourself.
or yourself. True. So check them out, thriftvalley.co.ke.
You're listening to the podcast.
Friend?
Omenerds podcast.
But on episode 2, we're basically exploring the reasons why you buy the things you buy. The reasons why you go to the pubs that you go to. The reasons why you eat at the restaurants that you eat at when it's your choice. Yeah, that's basically what we're discussing. So why do you buy the things you buy? For example, I use Arimis. There's even some in studio.
Yes.
So
Get your mind out of the
Teamwork
gutter.
and I, we're together. We're together. And the reason I started using Arimis is I feel like I saw it on Twitter or somebody said that it's very good for skin.
that's
Best.
true.
For skin and whatever.
Yeah.
And then I saw it in the supermarket. Was like, what? It's 20 bob. I'm inside this.
Imepanda Bay. It's
Whatever.
now 27 bob.
You know why it's Pandad Bay? Because people say it's sending on Watchman on newspaper at put it in a fancier container. It's cow milking jelly. Why must it be in a fancy container? That's how it's going to end up costing us 50 bob. And I will take to the streets.
You'll fight everybody.
So yeah, and I started using Arimis and I'm happy.
Shaking.
Yeah, and I'm happy about the choice that I made. And I feel like it was influenced by somebody saying it on Twitter, although I can't remember exactly who it was.
I saw guys talking about using it as primer for makeup, and I was shook.
Really? I feel like primer has to be something that's matte.
Does it?
Okay, also, I don't know what primer is.
I bet you think I'm talking about painting a house.
That's why I thought it would be matte. Like I was using the same.
Primer.
It can't be matte. You'll end up looking like a packet of flour, banana. If there's
That's
no
not what
moisture
we're
at the
after.
bottom. No.
Look like
You don't
a white
remember
walker.
that one celeb at Project Fame, was it? with the unga face.
What?
That's not
Oh,
something
yeah.
we're aspiring to.
Do you guys listen to Matatu FM? Not you, though, Ita. We know you're a motorist.
Motorist.
For instance, like Maina Kegeni's show is, however long it is, half of it is just ads. Does that ever influence you to go buy, I don't know, land, printers, phones, anything?
Yeah, I've bought like 7 plots from Maina Kageni. 7. From Maina Kageni. I can't find any of them.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I have 7 title deeds, I guess.
I wonder about that. You know, every other day he's pushing a new product. A lot of our radio presenters do that, and you're thinking, like, do you even like this? Some of the times it sounds so forced and like so mechanical, like that they're being poked with a stick in their back. Like, read this, read it now, read it like this.
Yeah, but it's all about the money.
And I think it's advertising just for the sake of getting information out there, not necessarily to convince you that it's good for you or go buy it.
But if I'm the one who's paying for that, akuna ROI.
Well, bad decisions they made, I guess.
If you pay me, I can plug sausages.
Hey,
Knowing that they
That you never
contain
eat.
like pork and hooves and the noses of the pigs, I'd still plug it.
hey, by the way, kichwa inakuanga na soup.
Kazi ni kazi.
Wera ne wera.
I wonder if the billboards for any politician like helped their cause.
That Sifuna dude, I was happy to drive by his billboard every day.
Sifuna who?
Is he Sifuna? Did I
Yeah.
even get the name wrong?
The
Like I was just
You're
looking at
just
his
looking
face.
at the face.
I'm like, this
No,
is
the
such
second- the
a good-looking
the guy was running
man.
against
Edwin Sifuna,
Ah.
right?
Wewe ulikuwa unaona vitu zako lakini.
I know what he was running for, but that was a nice
Senator.
picture. Listen, it was a nice picture. I don't know if it worked.
Okay. You don't know whether it worked. Wewe ulikuwa unaona picha tu.
Mse alikuwa msupo.
Akushinda kura, but he won your heart.
What do you think worked more between the billboards and the cars driving around with those songs for politicians?
Those cars are a fucking nuisance.
Like I
And
remember
Nema needs to
hearing the
do something
Sakaja song
about
all
them.
the time.
Yeah.
Nema needs to do something about them.
NEMA is about the money also. So, see, there's a license you buy for like what?
To make noise.
Oh, yeah.
Like 5 Gs.
Yeah, that's true.
For those...
Who can afford? Well,
Hey,
Yeah.
I can't wait
Hey,
to buy a
middle
license
class,
for
middle
plastic
class.
bags.
let me not finish that.
Middle class.
Yeah.
Let me not finish that comment. But what I was saying is 5K is attainable for majority of the
Of
people. So
political aspirants.
yeah.
Marketing budget. Billboards. Now that's something I see when I'm driving.
wow.
But seriously, there's been what's it called? An overdose of billboard marketing on especially these bypasses. At one time I was joking, we need specs that have those plugins like browsers for no ads. Just ad block. Because it's
Ad
every
block
time you
glasses.
pass, as in you'll find like
Okay, wait. That's a good
it's a
idea.
good
Like
pl- yeah,
ad
it's a
block
good idea.
glasses.
Yeah. Because I don't want to see continuing seeing mall ads. Like if I'm driving through Kile, it's all about the hub. Like all 20 street poles from
and plots
and plots and
and
then
apartments.
wow.
Massage
Yes,
parlors.
massage
I think that's
parlor.
marketing that works.
He
They
was
have
fine with the
people.
massage parlor.
Yeah, actually, that is marketing that works because
Wow.
Clearly, he's
Wow.
fine with it.
But those people don't stand outside with the...
They do.
Placards
With the
anymore,
with
do
the
they?
placard on him.
Usiku, you see a guy
Massage
blacked
parlor.
out on top of a
Yes.
car
They say
thing.
anachapwa na baridi.
I thought like by now everyone who goes there knows where the place
No,
is.
there's still
They
one new
need you to remember
customers.
where it is. You know, all the let's say you could be driving to I say driving a lot. Okay, let's say you're commuting.
We understand. It's your weakness.
As a
You're
pedestrian.
commuting to Explorer, and then you're still 50-50 about entering it. There's a guy right there just before you get to Explorer to remind you that there's a massage parlor just opposite there. So
Go and get your
can go and
chi
get your
blown.
Happy ending.
game on and a happy ending. And by that, then you've spent less money than, going and wasting all your money on booze.
Wait, how
You're
much?
happy.
How do you know how much a massage is?
Tell us.
This is a safe space.
Price list tulitoa wapi?
It's a safe space.
The guys in the mat who walk in with those little pieces of paper with some juicy stories.
Yeah, and then they
Written
tell
10
you to
bob.
buy the newspaper.
Yeah.
For
Then
10
you buy it and then you leave the stage and you're looking for this juicy story and,
And
it's
it's
like
not
it's
there.
like 5 lines of Ouko was buried with a plastic head. You're like, what? I want to see this plastic head, and there are no pictures. There's
Hakuna
nothing.
picture, hakuna
And
story.
you've given your 10 bob.
How to make your
Yeah.
woman scream in bed.
Exactly.
Okay, wait. Okay, but the guys who ingia the buses, can you call that influencer?
Yeah.
Like, gari ya, dawa ya mende, panya, kuku.
Yeah.
That's actually direct marketing.
Kisonono.
Actually, right there just to make sure you buy the product.
Okay, it depends though. Like there
Actually,
are some
even
people who-
Akange is an influencer.
They lie to you.
You enter the mat.
Mbili iende, and then you enter, then 3 guys chuck the match. You're like, what the fuck, man?
Tano. And you enter,
Walisa-
is counted. Yeah, nilisema tano tatu. So
Yeah.
15.
15 bob.
Bao is actually 40
40
bob. He
bob,
said
exactly.
bao twice.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Kazi, 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 kazi. Tufanye kazi kwa nguvu zote. Kazi, kazi. Tujenge taifa letu. Kazi, kazi. Baada ya kazi burudika ni wakati wa.
Yeah, so I mean, it would be good to have influencers. I guess it's a good way to market. It's genius because you're using people's themness, if I can say, to sell a product, right? But it's kind of getting misused right now.
Yeah, it's like an Instagram shop.
Wow.
Sorry. You know, like what you order versus what shows up.
Wow.
Have you ever done that?
Ordered
you-
off
Instagram,
IG.
off an IG store.
No, I have a problem with those guys because when you say how much is this, DM us. I'm out. I'm not DMing you. Why isn't the price there?
You know, you just know the price will be a joke.
Si ni ya kuongea. Bei ni ya kuongea.
Why am I
ya
DMing you?
kuongea na
Siweke
mtu.
hapo.
Kuongea.
No, I feel like she'll go to my profile, see what kind of person I am. She's like, this one looks like she can afford 2,000 bob.
Marketing.
I don't want. Sitaki. That's why I have a problem with now going to Gikomba. Because I can't talk.
The local language.
Yeah.
Just go and say, you guy, my guy, a guy.
You guys, anyonya daje vijana.
We nyonya. Okay, no, wait, by the way,
You guys, there's
speaking
an-
of marketing,
there's an offer for
like, what
soup.
did give people? I need to understand. Like, guys,
Smells awful.
guys
does.
herald it as the best whiskey to have ever whiskied
And I
out
don't
there.
understand why.
Okay, we just said a brand that made the producer really uncomfortable, and I guess
Are
that's
you
getting
a
cut.
team? Are you my guy? A guy.
It's getting cut.
You guy.
He was an influencer.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
getting cut. I feel it. I feel it in the air.
It's okay. I don't relate.
That's
so I
okay.
can't
So let's
even-
talk about the Cheers Baba drink, right? What the influencer is so good at their job that it was sold to the public so well
Are they just buying into? They're just buying into the idea.
that if they're seen drinking it,
Then
then they are.
of
I
a
don't know.
certain.
Yeah.
What was the genesis of? Because I started seeing the billboards and
Right.
them doing the December concerts
Right?
Yes.
more than I would see it on Twitter, unless I'm not following the right people. But then again, my block list is insane.
Block with abandon.
Block.
Block to your heart's content. Block like you've never blocked before.
Yeah. So was it the marketing outside of influencer, or is it primarily influencer that made it now become such a big thing?
I think it was a combination of both because their
what
their
their-
billboard game is strong.
Yes.
They've been visible, like for
Yeah.
Very
I
visible.
remember
Actually,
I used
that's
to
the
see
word.
it.
So
There's
is
many
it
things.
it's just visibility. It's not even
Yeah.
about the product anymore.
Yeah.
It's visibility.
Just
Like we
visible.
are there. I was gonna ask about rebranding. Like, do you question a product or a brand if you're like, you used to be something
Yeah.
else and now you're trying to come sell me as I'm bigger, faster, better,
No,
lighter.
if it's made,
thinner.
if the rebrand is done professionally, it's done well with research and things to back it up. I think it does well because they did the rebrand, I think, a few years back, right? when those stories for who owns it and everybody was talking about it as a bougie bank where you must have like a certain amount of money to go to. But now, I mean, you see Watus in... Yeah, so it works when it's done properly.
It's done well.
Yeah. Okay, even Blue Band. You remember how hard they've tried? Okay, we can't say. But you remember how hard this brand...
What is it?
Oh,
You don't like Blue Band?
I don't like Blue Band either.
Listen, we're not rich enough for butter, please. Have you seen the price? Okay, no.
Popular.
Yeah, Blue Band, they did that thing where you put it in the ugali.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody's doing pizza ugali. What? Did I say pizza ugali?
Chips.
Wow.
Pizza chips.
Yeah.
No.
Some
brand is
branding
that?
needs to. Some branding should be like the whoever's in charge should be like no.
That's a sort of rebrand because you're
Ugali
saying this
fries.
is a brand that's been with your grandma, your mom has used for years, and they've always used it for bread, right? Always for baking or whatever. But now, because you youths are so problematic, we're trying to get you to be loyal to a brand that your parents have been loyal to for years. This is what we're doing. You kids like pizza. Okay. We're going to make pizza from Oog. You can do this. And I'm like, no, there's a disconnect.
What was that connect?
I don't
there?
know.
I
There should
really
be
don't
a
understand.
You can rebrand.
Yeah, do you remember the Ugali Pops? Ugali, what were they?
Yeah.
On your streetwise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ugali nuggets.
Ugali nuggets.
hard
And I
work,
found
though.
out so...
I appreciate when
what
a brand
But
does
it's
hard
so...
work.
Like,
I don't appreciate. I'm like,
I do. I
don't
feel like they
don't
do.
bougify my quote unquote poverty.
But you're not buying it?
But
Okay.
I felt like it was something I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
Like the thought of my ugali having been
So they-
finured by someone.
Lies. How dare
The
they?
fun part of ugali is
How
doing the
dare
finya
they?
finyani. So I was like,
As in ugali
No
ive,
thanks.
Yeah.
ugali ive, I shape it into
yeah,
something
someone
else,
Yeah.
and then
kidnapped
it goes
and
into
shaped it.
another process so that I can eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are not eating ugali. Look at your bougie ass.
Yes.
That was that.
Ugali is
that
clutch,
was
You
man.
guys are
It
uko
holds
kula
you.
in pizza.
pizza.
Chapo.
Pizza.
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 Ugali holds
Pizza.
it down, man. Ugali na kama yai fry hivi. What?
That was
You're like,
Life
blasphemy.
is
what?
hard.
That was
Life is hard.
blasphemy
You
on
can't
their
turn
part.
your nose up at
You're
food.
also old.
And now ugali is expensive.
The
So there's
Omenerds
that.
podcast
Oh, yeah.
is not
Yeah.
old.
It's very
now it's
expensive.
expensive.
Okay, we need to
Ugali.
get New Nairobi here to tell us whether they're eating ug.
No, they
But
they
the
can't
hipsters
eat
are
it 'cause
eating
it's
ugali.
expensive.
They eat ugali.
No, they eat
They
the
can
nyama.
afford it.
It's a bougie. Oh yeah, it's not expensive. Hey,
can
unga.
afford it.
Unga.
Now they can afford it.
Unga
Now that
is
it's
gold.
it's something that
Unga
only
is
these
gold.
guys can
Yeah,
buy.
only this.
No. You've seen this gentrification of ugali.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So are the new Nairobi kids eating it?
After
Ama-
it's been
Ama ni nyinyi tu wazee munajipeleka hapo munakula, you get pissed, you
No,
come
see them,
on
they're
Twitter,
eating it
you tell us
in-
about
as
gentrification,
fries.
but you have paid money, you have eaten those chips,
It's for New Nairobi.
you have taken pictures for
New
Instagram.
Nairobi didn't have the mechanism of kufinyilia, then eka that
Yeah.
nice ka
They have
dip,
someone else
so
finya
you
it
can
for
scoop
them.
soup with it. It was too much.
Yeah. No, if you
Yeah,
have
they
soft
don't know.
hands in a kuchoma.
Eh, bana,
Oh my God.
hawajazoea. In case you just joined us on episode 2 of the Omenerds podcast, we are super psyched to have Owaah from Owaah.com on the podcast today. We finally meet the man, the myth, the legend.
I was going to say this. So, for example, this year, or rather, even from last year, when like Rimbuye and I were talking about doing a podcast around the sack of Imperial Bank and all that, the interest in the last 3 or so years has been, okay, so the people who can actually turn the stories into movies and podcasts and whatever, like when they read them, they don't come to comment, this is like a movie. They're like, shit, like I see the thing. Like I
They
see
see
it.
the movie.
I see the people moving. I even see the extra. Like there's been a lot of contact now, like a lot of industry contact around how do we turn the stories into other formats for those people who probably can't handle reading 5,000 words or even 2,000 words. Now, we held the first of several shows. It was pretty much turning some stories and a lot of very boring research I have in my archives, giving it to these playwrights and then just helping them and editing through the process. And this is the best part. Like medium is so important in art in the sense of like a story that was 2,000 words. The script for the show was 6,700 words.
Oh, wow.
That's including
Yes.
stage directions?
Yeah, no, actually. This was
Really?
like just the story, just the things people had to cram, like the words they had to
1,000.
6,000, and there were four. They had four stories. But anyway, the best part of it was the interest that came even from audiences leading up to that day was something I hadn't thought would happen. And then on the day itself, we had a full house at Kenya National Theatre, like so full we had to add seats and block tickets, like at the end of, and it was a Wednesday evening in the middle of the month. So like there's a genuine interest. Now we're going to do it again next month over a weekend, see how that works.
We will
Awesome,
be there.
Awesome,
Good.
awesome.
Omenerds podcast will be there. Trust.
Good. Come.
Omenerds.
So we're going to do it on a weekend on 29th and 30th.
Say it again.
See how that works. But then the plan going forward is the feedback keeps coming back, like designer show around history. Like I want my kids to learn about history and all these details. Designer show for kids around
Like the
10.
That would
set
be dope.
pieces.
That would be amazing.
What are they
Yeah.
called? The set books.
Yes, like something near that, but
Yeah.
for kids and fun.
Yeah.
And then
Like how
like
you said fun.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's, I mean, because writing is very, like as an art form, it's written, it's there, you read it, you go. You have your own interpretations, you have your own thoughts about it, and then you leave. But you kind of now bridging or kind of going into collaborations with all these other art forms. I think that's very interesting. Yeah, and you're doing a great job. I like that.
It's at some point I was scared it was just running away from me. Then I realized, let it. Actually, that's the whole idea. Like,
Yeah.
Like
the whole idea being experience. Like I feel like most people want experience. Like it's been like art should be an experience. Whether you're reading something or you're doing whatever, it should be an experience. I built a brand to try give people intelligent stories, which I used to say this where, like they could exchange these stories across a bar or during a boring date. Like, oh my God, do you know this shit? Do you know this guy? Whatever. And it's become like a thing. Like people want to combine this with something else. Like the idea of history and beer.
Which is amazing,
Yeah.
truly, because you
And
wouldn't,
photography.
Yeah, you wouldn't think of them. Writing
Putting
and
them
photography
together.
really is kind of similar because it's something that you view. It evokes feelings, and you
But
have
beer
your.
is
and it's
also
left up
something
to
you've
each
viewed.
person's interpretation.
I don't know about
Like,
the
do
beer.
you get surprised at like how another artist interprets like what you write, like what you've written? Like for instance, you say you work with like playwrights, for instance. So do you get surprised? Do you get shocked is a bad word, but about how they interpret what it is that you have written? Like is it interesting to see like, okay, I saw it this way and then this other guy is actually putting different visuals?
I'm actually in
it.
awe of it. Like it's one of those things where one time I went with these guys to African Heritage House, and I think I was the only history writer on it. And just the way we saw things, the way we experienced the place was so different and yet so similar. It's just so. For example, I did the story today about Gedi in Watamu. First time I ever went to Gedi was in 2013 with a photographer, like a professional photographer. We were doing this thing for Safaricom for their calendar. And the way we both experienced the space was so different. The way we interpreted it into stories, because we both had to have output at the end of it. So his were images, mine were stories. It was just, and yet it wasn't competing. It was just,
It's a collaboration.
Yeah.
It's competition. It's collaboration over competition.
Yeah. But then at the same time, I'm also doing a lot of background, pretty much pro bono work for people who don't have the research skills to get to that part of the story. So instead of just doing everything and struggling with details and all these things, so I've been approached a lot of times to just, as in, can
Just
you
do the research.
Just do this, which is pretty something else.
Which is something you enjoy.
So now seeing people turn 2 pages of research where it's like size 10 font into an incredible play as if I was an emotional man.
You are.
I so persist.
You are. Why are you crying? Stop crying.
Really?
Stop crying.
Really? Oh God, that would that would
Okay.
be
So what are you listening to?
right now.
Yeah. What music do you have on your iPod or playing?
Phone, in the car.
Wait, why are you looking at me like that? You don't listen to music?
I listen to music to drown out noise.
Okay. Not for fun.
I do total silence most of the time. But today I've listened to a lot of roots rather.
But you listened to She or There just now.
I watched it. I watch odd things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't
Okay.
listen. You don't.
I do listen to music, but like not.
You're not into.
Like I was playing music on my way here, but
What
was
was
the
it?
radio? What was
Ah.
I playing? I don't even know.
Okay.
What are you reading?
Because I don't like myself. But the main book I'm reading is this book by a guy called Yuval Harari. Harari is his name. It's a professor. It's called A Brief History of Mankind. It's an unsettling book. It tries to pack mankind into a book, and it is very unsettling.
Do you read any light books like for fun?
Yeah, just
But work is
Not
fun.
those ones.
But when your work is
You
fun,
know
you
what
never
we're
have to
asking
work.
for.
And oh my god,
No,
cliche
don't-
line, cliche line was just perfect for this moment.
Like do you read
like
an
fluff.
Archie? Like
know?
Archie comic. If I gave you, would
Like-
you be happy with that, or just like, what is
Would
this
you-
mess you're presenting me with? Do you know who I am?
I've forgotten the book version of rom-com. What are they called?
Chicklet,
Yes.
Mills and Boone.
Like if I gave you one of those,
I
would you
probably
read it?
would,
Would you
yeah.
consume it?
I probably would, but it will be. So,
no, that's the point of those books.
Yeah.
By the way.
like, don't think about it. So this is how
it's
ridiculous
to
it has
escape.
been. I haven't read fiction in about 4 years. This is not something I'm proud of. I have struggled with. Like I have 4 fiction books staring at me. The other 2 books I haven't mentioned are both fiction.
But I feel like even for fiction, they're probably really deep books.
Yeah.
Like we're talking
heavy
about,
ones.
escapism.
Like
And
light
then
books.
you are going to tell us that you escape into like this really deep
Okay.
historical book.
Yeah.
Let me give you an
Nah,
example.
Historical
bruh.
fiction.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The most prominent book on my bookshelf is this book I got about a decade ago. Caught is a loose word. It's somebody stole my book. Then I went to visit him, and then he offered it as a sacrifice because
Okay.
the other pile of the books that were going was bigger. So it's called The World's Best Book of the Most Useless Information Ever.
Okay.
So that's my kind of
That
book.
sounds
All right.
amazing.
The problem with it is it's still mental research for me because it's a book full of just quirky things, which is what I do for a living. So yeah, you can tell why I'm single now, can't you?
Yeah. I
Oh,
Like,
see
we
it.
need
I
to talk.
single?
We
I
need to
see
talk.
it. Yeah.
I had to put it in the podcast somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
like
We're
just
getting-
toss, you've
It's
seen
a-
it, huh?
Yeah.
Classy.
Call to action. Call to action.
Yes,
Yeah.
situé, eh?
Maurice.
Yeah.
That like it's just I don't consider what I do work, and this is a cliche line to say, but it's also because it's how when it's an art and it comes easy to you, like almost everything else. For example, getting the car washed feels like work. Like shit. Now I gotta go. I gotta meet people. Then I gotta think.
So you
Anyway,
never
yes.
unplug from Owaah, basically, is what you've said. So you
Always
you
working.
don't escape. There is nothing to escape because what you're doing is your escape. Does that
Yes.
make
He
sense?
didn't feel
Yes.
like he
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
feel the need to escape.
No, because he's living the dream.
So I read for fun.
Yeah.
I read to write.
Do you
Read
watch
to
TV?
work.
I watch things.
What?
Okay, the temperature in that studio just went
Like things.
Yeah,
I'll be I'll be like, yeah. Like,
yes, like
like
do you
you know what
mean
you know what would be
things?
nice right now?
Pornhub.com.
Like I have Kenya Gazette, on this, and I'm like XXX the videos,
What's
and I'm like,
up?
what should I watch today? Which art form?
Amateur.
Which art form?
Art
Like,
form. That's
like
hilarious.
let's see, midget something. Okay, sorry, I don't know.
Hey, listen. Your tastes are your tastes, and
It's
that's
true.
okay.
This is a space of non-judgment.
I'm like
Huh?
femme
You-
something,
you
like, but it's an
should
art form also.
feel
Yeah,
free.
it is an art form.
But it's an art form.
That's subject for another podcast
Yeah.
because of what I feel.
But you know how distracting
about
it is when any
porn.
one of them looks at you, like looks at the camera.
How
So you're like,
I-
now this is
I'm
not an art form.
anti-
It's like you're breaking the fourth wall. Like you're breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. Oh my god.
She does. She does.
These kids today are just
Okay,
terrible.
no.
does.
I refuse.
Do
'cause
not break
as-
the fourth wall.
That's funny, but I've refused
It's
that.
true though.
The illusion is gone. Don't look me in the eye.
Don't break
my
the fourth
goodness.
wall.
Okay, let's go.
It's a
Like-
rule in theater, just unless you're gonna do it classically.
Or like what? Or keep the
Wow.
eye contact. Just like dead stare.
So you watch things.
What am I watching? I'm watching Archer at the moment. So I'm
Oh,
doing a
okay.
lot of phrasing. Phrasing, mother. Phrasing.
I've actually never watched that show, to be honest.
What?
I think this podcast is just me saying I've never
Okay,
watched
you know
that.
what? Like, we're gonna
What
have
have
to
you
go
been doing
outside
with
and
your leisure
fight.
time?
We're gonna have to go outside and
let me
fight.
tell you what I've been doing with my time. I just eat a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
It's true. Like
Illusion over product. Marketing over the product.
brand
You
versus
know?
the
Market something.
research.
Like that's okay.
Like
yeah,
how
like
you
also
want-
subliminal,
Yeah.
whatever the guys on Twitter telling you this is the
Buy
best
this.
brand, that kind of relationship with brands and marketing and a product
do
and
you
the
trust it?
influencer.
It's prostitution. Yeah.
You're equating
but it's
being
what
an
we do.
influencer
But it's what we do.
to prostitution.
But it's what we do.
Yeah, like I want to explore that prostitution. So influencers as prostitutes.
Okay.
Tell us more about that.
Writers are prostitutes. But it's
Oh,
true. Because the
say-
freelancers are prostitutes. They're like, oh, you're going to pay me money to do what? I don't even know what it is, but yeah, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Do you want me this way? Do you want me
Yeah,
that
do you want
way?
me to know well? Well,
Oh,
I think you're thinking of something else. That's,
I'm sorry.
That's, yeah.
The other things. The other
My
things.
bad.
Yeah. Anyway, so the show for the Too Early for Birds, what we did on May 17th, pretty much bringing Kenyan stories to life, like just even stories you've had before, stories you probably have never had, and then they're just like in a performance with this awesome cast, and then they infuse every, I don't know, what do people do on stage? Those things, because I am in awe. I sit there and I'm like, how?
They're doing
How?
things.
Because somebody gets a script
Things.
Yeah.
and then they improvise, and you're like,
He was in awe with his mouth
He
open.
shed a tear as well.
okay.
Yeah.
And his eyes
so we're
were
turning. So
starry-eyed.
Ngatia and Abu are leading, or rather, led the cast and are leading the cast.
Mm-hmm.
The two performers were really good at it. They're both poets, and yes. So, yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for coming
We
Thank you.
to
appreciate
sit with
you.
us at the Omenerds podcast.
Mhm.
And I hope you will be back. Yes, we will have you. We'd love
Will
to
you
have you.
me?
Right there on that sofa. You are so
You know,
comfortable.
Oh,
on.
you're gonna have me.
Speak closer to the mic. We didn't hear you.
Will you have me?
Yes.
Make it breathier, heavier.
Yeah.
I have one last question.
Yes.
Why is there a double H in Owaah?
It's
why,
rather
why
stupid.
two H's?
The answer to it is just stupid.
Okay, ask because I want an answer.
Okay, so the name was supposed to be OWA, but you can't have anything less than what is it 4 letters on to open an email.
Really?
Yeah, so like I added another A, then my OCD kicked in. It just looked wrong, like it didn't look balanced. So I added a H, then I had a conversation with it also didn't look right. So I added H. That's rather stupid.
So what was the OWA?
It's this run. So there's Owaah the brand, and there's a very far off Owaah in my childhood, which was baby talk for a name somebody had given me, and it stuck as a nickname.
Okay.
I didn't think much with it clearly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of it. So yeah,
How can guys find you online?
that's not a leading.
He doesn't
question.
want to be found online. Let's.
I want to be
let's-
found online, not
He
offline.
doesn't
Please
want-
know it.
Ah,
Hey!
Unless they're also single, as
Oh.
agreed.
wow,
Um,
you are
so
really
yes.
plugging this Owaah is single.
But I was
Owaah
told
is
to do a
single.
plug. As
That's
anyway,
what
plugging
she said.
himself.
yeah. So Twitter
So you have your Twitter at Owaah.
at Owaah, OWAA.
Am I saying that
H.
right?
Owaah.
Double A,
Owaah.
double H.
Just closer to the mic and say it.
Owaah.
No. You're
Owaah.
not. Put it, you just.
Owaah.
There you
The-
go. She did the eyes like
the
she
studio
fluttered the
just, the
eyes.
studio just
Yeah.
got misty, got foggy.
This podcast is just the best.
Yeah.
You're on
Yola.
Twitter,
OWAAH. That's everywhere as Owaah.
Facebook,
Hey,
And my
brand awareness.
website is
.com.
www.owaah.com.
which is a fabulous website.
Thank you.
You are doing great
Fabulous.
things. We
you.
appreciate that
Thank
you have
you.
made time to come and see
You're
us.
just telling me the things I like to
Appreciate.
be told.
Yes, because I want you to come back. Because I feel like we have so much that we.
We will talk.
Why are you all so
I
filthy?
thought she was going to stop with the word come. I'm
Oh my
sorry.
So filthy.
But she cares.
So filthy. So thank you very much. It was lovely having you.
Thank you for
Yes,
having
it
me,
was
guys.
amazing.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Hey,
OMENES.
hey, you're listening to the podcast.
Friend.
Omenerds podcast.
All right. We're moving on to the next section where everybody gets a chance to sort of give a little bit about what they're doing this week, what they're enjoying, what they're listening to, what they're feeling, what they're loving this week. I think this week I'm very happy that Insecure is back. And with it comes Insecurity, which is one of my favorite review. Insecurity, one of my favorite review podcasts. Yeah, so I just want to shout out Issa. Thank you so much for male nudity.
Right?
So many toned black bodies, so many
butts.
butts. I'm living.
Booty, rocking everywhere.
Booty. Thank you.
I like
Kwa hayo machache.
Hayo machache. So that Nairobi IG tour that Owaah was talking about, it was really dope. And I've actually been rewatching one of the videos from someone who was there, who went round like with everyone from sunrise to sunset.
Was that someone new?
Yes, that someone was actually me. Made such a dope video. And
OMG.
yeah, it was a good summary of the day. So if you need to watch it, just go to www.youtube.com/Thuita.
And Thuita is spelled THUITA.
W.
No, I said
like at the end.
Twitter
So
with a
the
W.
URL.
Is it
Or just
Twitter
search for
or-
Nairobi IG Tour 2017.
That's some
Thwits.
good SEO, man.
Oh, yeah, I try.
Is your video up there?
Yeah.
Thwits.
Okay, I'd never woken up that early to actually video or photo anything. But we got access to the UAP Old Mutual tour, the rooftop. It's like 30-something floors up, like the tallest building in Nairobi, I think. I don't know. And
does it.
I think it is. Or maybe because it's standing on upper hill, it's taller than everything else.
Because it's up a hill.
Yeah, because
As
it's
in
up
fuck
a
you,
hill.
Really?
Yeah, it's up. It's a building up a hill.
What if it was on Mountain View? Huh?
So anyway, at the top you get to see the view of the train yards from railways, and then the what's called Nyayo Stadium, and then the city, and then other things I really couldn't recognize because we only know Nairobi from street level. And so it was really cool. And then they fed us like for breakfast. They really fed us at Nyama Mama, like a lot of food, and after that, we needed to walk it off. Oh, also, Owaah gave us a really, really dope history on a lot of the buildings and things in Nairobi. It was so dope.
That's nice.
And did you know, am I talking too much?
Nobody cares.
So,
Keep talking, bitch.
Okay, there was an Easter egg that he took us for. In Jivanji Gardens, there's a statue of Queen Victoria, which has been vandalized. The head was stolen.
I've seen that and I didn't know who that was.
Yeah. I thought that was dope.
Apparently, it was a process of vandalization.
Yeah.
So it was.
So
like
years of
slowly
just,
chipped away.
nicking out the neck, and then till finally someone got
Choking the
head.
neck.
That neck.
So yeah, that's what I'm plugging.
Why didn't you go, Jimmy?
Because my camera is 1 megapixel. And it's not enough for Instagram. So I chilled. But when there's a Twitter tour and we want us to post words and whatnot, I'm game.
There should be a Twitter tour.
Couldn't do it for the
You
gram.
can call it on a chest
Yeah.
Sunday.
My gram doesn't work. I have something to unplug. Like as in, please don't even look at this ever. Inaitwa The Fifth Estate. It's a YouTube channel representing Fort Hall College of Administration or something. But si college ya ukweli. It's if you go there, you're losing your education instead of gaining it. Yeah, so it's Mutai Ngunyi sitting in front of a lot of books. And then looking at it, I think there are like 3 copies of one book somewhere. So like I don't understand.
The
Maybe in
encyclopedia.
but it doesn't look like an encyclopedia.
Britannica.
But yeah, so please unplug the Fifth Estate from your YouTube and you block it.
Maybe it's pronounced Fodal, not Fotol. Ni Fodal.
Unsubscribe.
Oh yeah, please.
Fodal.
Apologies.
You're ni Fodal College.
Wow.
At the unplug. Wow.
Yeah, we need to do better in Kenya. So, and that name, Fort Hall College,
Nakwambia ni Fodal.
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 it's not fair to anyone to be watching this. And this guy has like 4 million views since he started.
What?
Yeah, 4.8 million views since 2015. So seems it's popular. That's why Kenya is where it is right now, because watu wengi wanaona hizi vitu. So
I am plugging the Grace Cup. Since we're being told about plastic bags and saving the environment, this is a reusable menstrual cup. Buy it. It's good for the environment. It's good for you. It's good for everybody. I am all about vaginal health. It's better for you. It doesn't have toxins. It doesn't have chemicals. It's reusable. It's better for your pocket. Yes. One of the first ones made in Kenya. Hizo zingine zilikuwa import. As the resident angry person in this podcast, on episode 2, I'm going to ask guys what they are mad about this week.
What am I mad about this week? I want to say the IG stores that tell you to DM for prizes. That is so annoying. Listen, when you go to a shop and they have the price there, I see it and I decide in my mind, my wallet, I can buy this, I can afford this. And then I buy it or I don't, I walk away. So what is it telling me, oh, just send us a DM, we'll send you the price. What's that about? Then, as if that's not enough, I don't want to say the brand, but these guys have an entire website with really dope-ass bags with like belts and shit. And they want you to email them with the picture of what you like. Then they tell you the price. Why are you setting up an entire website? Why are you wasting my time? This is how you ruin a good time.
So I go to the website.
Yes.
I see the thing.
Yes.
Then I have to email about it.
Yes.
Then they email me back.
Yes.
Maybe.
No, I'm not saying the brand because they're your friends, Tim. They're your friends.
Maybe they like the extra work. You don't know.
No, but I don't want to do that work. It's the same thing with Facebook, right? You put up a picture and you say you're selling this stuff. And then everybody underneath that picture, like 50 people have asked how much. Your response is, send me a message. I'll send you the price. That's really annoying.
but that just
Don't be
that
that
just
person.
means the
But
price
to be
is
fair, there are some posts where the person has put all of the information and still the question beneath is how much, where can I get this? How much, where
No,
can
I
I
have
get
no
this?
problem with those dandas who are still asking how much. My problem is
The
if you've
person
not
posting,
put
yeah.
the price.
But-
and then when I ask for the price, you tell me to go to the DM. I say, why?
just be ready to be
I
scammed.
think they like
Yeah,
it.
so yeah, that's a scam.
It's like when it's raining and matris are buying people, they don't tell you how much it is.
Unaingia
Because
tu.
it's 150. I just say at 150. That's outrageous. They just say beba twende, then utajua ukiwa ndani. Because it's too much. So,
Because
I guess,
that's what makes me mad.
They're like, we can't just put this out there.
Maybe
It's
they want to charge
predatory.
different people
Predatory
different prices.
pricing.
Yeah. Or they don't.
If you
Oh.
agree too easily, then they'll be like, okay, next time I'll upcharge you.
This is what I'll do. This is what I'll do. One day when I have time, I'm just going to go on all those posts and send you DM. And when you say the price, I'll go and write her poaching in the comments.
Yeah.
She has told me it is
Why
2,500
don't people do
shillings.
that though?
Yeah, so this week I'm actually mad at myself. I don't usually get caught up in that when something is pushed to me like a product. I'm usually not. I like rejecting or rebelling against branding and advertising. But a few months ago, these videos for Loop started playing, right? And in the video, there's this chick I've been dying for years, Bridget Shigadi. So I had to know what this Loop thing is and immediately signed up for it. Till now, I'm just getting those stupid texts about come and collect your Loop card.
So you are the one that we talk about when we talk about influencers.
Yes.
Ni
And
wewe.
it's not always. It's only just a few times. And I'm still, and I don't wanna go tell them, by the way, I don't want this thing. I signed up on it I was a bit love drunk.
It was a thirst.
Yeah, it was a thirst follow. I actually don't, I actually have a bank. I don't need this, but now.
Buyer's remorse. That's what that is.
Yeah, so now I'm just mad at myself. I'm like, I
Natuangu-
always fall in this
natuangusha.
trap.
Unatuangusha, boss. As a unit, unatuangusha.
So since it's the week after elections, I'm just mad that everyone I voted for didn't manage.
You didn't vote for Soko?
No, some horses are on steroids, but
Never
it's
sure.
okay. Nimekubali and I'll be happier next week. Thanks. Staki kutafutwa.
Yangu si mengi.
By the way, Mine is something small.
Mine is something short.
Somebody give me something to be mad about.
Your fries, McFries, Caprice.
Because I ate there the other day. I am mad at. Is it Caprice or Caprice? What do people say?
Caprice.
I have never eaten more mediocre food in my life.
Where is this?
Kwapo karibu na
Westlands.
McFries Westie, like
Yeah,
where
the
the
post
post office is.
Right.
Just, you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
See, they only have chips. What else do they have?
Wako na
They have
kuku,
kebabs.
their kebabs usually have
liquid?
vegetables inside.
Yes.
That is disgusting. If it tasted good, I wouldn't complain, but it's disgusting. You, as a vegetarian, would be like, the hell is this?
Caprice.
Also, I try not to eat from many chips places because they dip the sausages in the same oil they dip the fries.
That's what
And
makes
these
the
are my
fries-
problems. I'm sorry. Why you guys
That's
get
what
me
makes
like
the
that?
fries taste amazing.
Nah.
Yo mafuta ya fish, ya kuku, ya sose, ni ya chipo pia.
Si mafuta, your transformer oil.
Oh yeah, but then it transformer oil. Tuanzie hapo.
Can you
Tuanzie
let
hapo.
me
Tuanzie
prosper?
hapo.
Done.
When you're wondering why your beard stopped growing, you're just
Wow.
transformer oil.
Transformer oil is the cause for not having beards.
Hey, Twitter. Hapo jambo
Wow.
hapo.
This episode 2 Max ametumaliza. Hey.
Okay, so basically there is no consensus.
Don't waste your
Influencer-
good time.
Influencers work sometimes.
And
People
defluencers
just
like
need-
Lorizi work as well.
Yeah, defluencers.
Defluencers. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay,
Because
I feel
I just came here
Yeah.
to have a good time and I'm
Twitter.
feeling really
I
attacked
like
right
that
now.
word. She's a professional hater.
Yes.
I am.
Yeah.
I have never denied
Did you
that.
say
Yeah, yeah.
defluencer?
No, we agree. We agree.
just
that you're
agreeing.
right.
I have
Yeah.
never. I just
That you
want.
are
I just
who you
want
are.
everybody who's listening to this right now
Yeah.
to know that I am a hater,
So the
and I
fact-
know it,
so
and
that
I have
somebody-
accepted hating into my heart.
So if somebody buys into that, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to be aware that somebody's selling shit to you. So you need to be able to look through your timeline and figure out, is this person
Don't
trying
take
to
the
tell
red
me-
pill.
Yeah. Is this person trying to tell me something? But then again, sometimes somebody can sell you something that you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's really there's no
influencing. It can
It
work.
can
It
work.
depends on.
Yeah. Do your
Always.
research. If you are a marketer, just do your research. Yeah. Yeah, I think we agree.
Yeah, and
Right?
as a consumer, it's just all of it is just suggestion. Like,
Yeah.
I take it like they're just suggesting it. So
And if you're doing
It's
it for the
up to me.
gram,
Do
it's
it for
all
the
good.
gram.
I mean, we have to get, again, escapism. You have to get happiness where you can. So if it makes you
Instagram
feel
is
nice
one
to
hell
wear
of an
Jeezy,
escape, man.
to wear Jeezy shoes,
Jeezy.
For fuck's sake!
You say Jeezy.
For fuck's sake! Really?
Jeezy
Wear
shoes.
them.
But that's an
Jeezy shoes. Thank you for listening to episode 2 of Omenerds podcast with me, Jimmy, Max, Twitter, Lorizi, and our producer, Teamwork. A big shout out to our guest, Owaah. Keep listening and subscribe to our... What's the... No, like...
Stop.
Yeah, subscribe to our podcast.
Yo nini inaitwaje?
Bonyeza.
Hiyo dude.
Yeah. Thank you for listening and subscribe on your favorite podcast app.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr at Omenerds Podcast. That's OMENERDS. Or you could just go to omenerds.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey,
OMENES.
hey! You're listening to the podcast.
Friend.
Omenerds podcast.